which is making fun of someone doing something. That used to happen all the time with me. What's he walking around the paddock for? What's he looking for? What's he doing?
Yeah.
Because they don't understand.
This is a big one, and I've asked a project executive that I respected a lot what the answer to this one is, but I'm going to ask you. When you think about the real objective of a project manager, going back to that loop, what is their actual mission, so that we can bring it home for the listeners?
Okay, so the actual mission is, I'd go back to the book by Patrick Lencioni, 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, and the quote in there that says, if you could get all of the people in an organisation rowing in the same direction, you could dominate any industry, any market, under any conditions, at any time. If you could get everyone, the PM's job is to get everyone headed in the same direction. If he could do that, you'll build any project under any circumstances, ever gets thrown at you at any time. That's my opinion. That, in my opinion, that is his number one job.
I love that, and kudos to you for pronouncing his name right. I always get that wrong.
I took a lot of practice to get that right, especially for an Aussie.
Yeah, because
well, technical difficulties galore to kick off here this morning. Let me get this right. So this week we looked at a few home truths. There was a few things that we didn't really want to hear. Number one being, as Dr. Eli Goldratt says, if the culture and results clash, the culture wins. Okay, all week we've looked at how. How, on Monday, we looked at, so let me get feedback up here. Monday we looked at how focus, or lack of focus, is killing our projects and our progress. Hot dog versus not hot dog. The Jing Yang story. Man, it's warm in here this morning. I have to get a rag. Sweat off. Tuesday, I gave you a real light story where we drove results on one project, went to the other side of the project, and it failed because the culture won. Culture ate the results. Wednesday, we had a look at ASAP as poison. Urgent, people calling out this is urgent all the time. How that's killing your flow. Showed you how to speak to sequence instead of it. Yesterday we shifted the belief around results are the thing that matters. They're not. That was the who. Oh, man, I've knocked this up this morning. That was the how. We showed you how and where those things happen and they impact you. Today is who. Who is going to be the single point of accountability to make sure that culture wins. Culture trumps results. So let me get this comment up. If you're responsible for delivery on a major project and you want the culture deliberately engineered instead of it left adrift, message me reset. I'll send you the 90-day embedded execution debrief, which I'll explain as we go through this. So let's run through our 6-picture framework. Tell you the story of where we're heading here. We all know we've got people running around on site going, we need to get everyone on the same page. We know this is the answer. We say it continuously. Got to get everyone in the same page. You've got to get them all heading in the same directions. Trouble is there's a lot of activity, which is noise. We've got to separate the activity, which is a noise, from progress, which is the signals. We get missions, operations, and executions, 3 units of the project, all on the same page, heading in the same direction. It's having a huge impact on us. This constant firefighting, this constant urgency, this constant, this is ASAP, this is the new priority, this must happen, causes this non-value added activity. We drop things, we race off to do things, we start on one priority, we half get it finished, we stop on that, we shift our focus somewhere else. as we spoke to earlier in the week, Dr. Eli Goldratt's told us, the constraint in any organisation or any projects, not resources, not logistics, not piping, not electrical, as much as I'd love to blow sparkies for everyone, it's management's lack of attention. Our ability to focus for intense periods of time on one thing and get something finished. The purpose of doing this, of course, is to eliminate the eighth waste, which is wasted potential of the people that we've got on site. We want to get the most out of every single person that we've got on site. If we do that, we'll drive that value-added activity up. The non-value-added activity will come down in cause effect. Earn value skyrockets. That is the outcome. You can have that, but you have to decide if you want it. Who? How? Right. There's a number of ways that you can do it. I've showed you how this week. How, and there's no shortage of how on the internet. Free stuff. Speaking to, I might get a little bit distracted for you. Let's put that up. Speaking to how to do this, how to do that. YouTube hacks. Instagram, YouTube. Every consultant and his dog's got a different hack. Greatest way that you can do this is magical cure, magical fix. There is only one magical fix. Turn up and get better every single day. Improve every single day. Be consistent. That is the only magical fix. How is the slowest, with the least probability of working, way that you can try and change the culture. Which will shift the results. Slow and it's painful. Or a little platform called School, where they can come in there and learn the stuff, the how as well. It's a little bit better. It's the next step up from the how, the bullshit that you see on YouTube and LinkedIn and Instagram and all the rest of it, but it's still slow and painful. Got another program in there that I call the Catalyst Academy, where I work with groups of people that are on construction sites. That is starting to get them to move because there's some coaching involved there. They can go see one, do one, and go and teach it. It starts to build the skills. You start to move out of this. We got a low probability and it's slow, up to we can actually make this thing work. What we're looking to do is this column down here. We've got 70% of change management fails. And out of that, the other 30%, I forget what the figures actually are. A good majority of that never sticks. Starts out with best intentions, good people, trying hard to do the right thing, just doesn't work because the culture attacks it. Culture attacks it, and it comes right back down to the bottom here, right back down to the lowest probability. Then I've got a group, 5K, 5 people max in it. That's more of like a maintenance program, and I have 2. This is the one I'm looking to fill at the moment, 28K a month. This is what I call fractional FIFO. The reason I call it fractional FIFO is a couple of years back, I spent a couple of years in Perth when COVID was on. So I got home like 4 times in 18 months, 2 years or whatever it was. Right, that's it, I'm done, not doing any more FIFO. Had enough, I've been away for too long. I was home about 12 months, good mate of mine rings me up and goes, will you come over and do this job on 2 at 1? No, a chance, not interested. 2 at 1 out of the west, lose 2 days to travel, not interested in putting that sort of time in being away. Spent enough time away during COVID, not interested in doing it again. And he goes, what sort of roster would you do? I said, I'll do a 1 and 2. He was on 2 at 1. He went, that's ridiculous. That will never fly. I won't use the actual word that he called me. That ends in wit. I said, yep, you're probably right, but that's what I'll do. Put that offer in front of him. It was just before Christmas, actually. And about a week before Christmas Eve, he gives me a call. He goes, you're never going to believe this. I said, what? He said, they've gone for it. 1 and 2. You're on. You're just backfilling my week off. So it was like 8 days on, 13 days off, essentially. 1 and 2. It was beautiful. I lasted 12 months, unfortunately, but that's what this offer is. I do a week, on your site. 2 weeks on the way. Doesn't mean we stop. We still run everything by remote, do everything that we need to do with our stealth team, which I'll tell you about in a minute. That's that program. I can only do one of them, of course, because I'm weak on site. I can't do it across multiple sites. I want some time off as well, and I want to be able to do some of my own stuff from home at the same time. So there's that up there. That is the fastest and the highest probability way of making this stick. Changing the culture. Letting the results actually win. We're changing the culture, which drives the results. And then you win. Because we know if we just try and change the results, we can do that. We're going to get some fantastic results. But if we don't change that culture, it'll default back to what it was doing before, regression to the mean, they call it. My wife tells me, she's studying psychology. It'll regress to the mean, go back to where we were before. Daily habits will kick back in. All right, to achieve that, we create flow. We've got to make sure we got all the people on the project rowing in the same direction. And we do that with what's known as a attack plan. Not going to go into the details of that today. There are plenty of other videos on that. How it works. This is how it works on a daily basis. When they train doctors, they do something called say one, do one, teach one. Good enough to teach and train doctors on is good enough for us as well. In a morning meeting, we learn to see waste, non-value added activity, and we learn to see flow. So we've got the attack plan up in front of everyone with the actual sequence. We talked about this earlier in the week. Instead of, I want this ASAP, we talk it to as soon as sequenced, ASAS. When someone comes to us with something that's urgent or priority or anything else, like our first question is, where does it fit in the sequence? When is it sequenced to start? We go back and have a look at the attack plan. Attack plan will tell us exactly when it's sequenced to start. There's too much ambiguity with a Gantt chart because you've got float in there, or we could start on this date and you could do. Attack plan's very structured. You start there, you finish there. That's your block to get that chunk of work done. There's all sorts of other things that tie in with it, like verify full kit, restricting the WIP, works in progress. But it is very structured compared to a Gantt chart is open to interpretation. Anyone can decide whether their job's a priority or not. You can't do that with a attack plan. Attack plan, it's very simple, it's very clear, and you can interpret it very quickly. Gantt charts are complicated. Open to interpretation and open to opinions and activity. We know what opinions are. Opinions are noise. This is a signal. Attack plan is a signal. Gantt chart's noise. So we teach them to see waste and flow at the morning meeting. So what? They go out onto their job, hit an issue. They stop and they fix it. They use the Orca process like I do, which we'll do in a minute again. We do every single day. Not when we feel like it. Not on Monday to Thursdays, because Fridays everyone flies out. Not I will skip it because it's Saturday. Every day we debrief. Something goes wrong. What was the objective? What were we doing? What were the results? What caused issues? Or the good thing that happened? What actions do we need to put in place to move forward? We take that. We use our little, I've got photos and videos there, but we've built a GPT that we can use out in the field to suck all this data back, these lessons learned. The ones that, the ones that we do at the end of the job and then we bury them and no one ever uses them because we never ever learn from our lessons. We just talk about doing it. We actually do it. Photos, videos, that gets disseminated out here. This becomes a driver for our learn to see waste and flow. The next morning is the lessons learnt from the day before. We use school to share it, what the Japanese called yakutan, which is disseminate that information laterally across the project so everyone can see it. Say one, do one, teach one. Repeat. Every day. Like on day 90, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 96 or 180 doing a daily debrief. Every day I do it. I've live streamed it every day for the last 96 days, except one, which was Christmas Day, and I made a deliberate decision not to do it on Christmas Day, the live stream, but I still did the orca, which was the actual goal. Now the goal is to get 100 hours of this up, which is planning and prioritising my day. I'm doing that. Doing social media with extreme confidence. This is very rare, and we're going to speak to this next week, and something called radical transparency. Radical respect there. We'll see if we can get a copy of radical transparency as well. Because number one driver of all of our failure on any construction site, I believe, is lack of transparency. We're going to talk about speed versus fast next week. There's a difference between the two. And transparency. And this is establishing and maintaining culture. Building the culture that helps drive the results. We need a stealth team to do this. We don't start this out and go, we're going to change the world here, get the whole project on board, things are going to change around here, things are going to be different, this is what we're going to do. We do that, we immediately end up in this bottom corner here. Lowest probability and the slowest possible way of it working. Slowest possible way of it working with the lowest probability. Worst thing we can do. What we do first, who is going to be the integrator? What I call the MOX. Mission, operations, execution. Who's going to make them all come together? Who is the single point of accountability to make that happen? That's that role. That fractional who. I'm going to do it on one project, as I said. We need like a CM or an area manager. We need a PM or senior project engineer, someone in project controls, superintendent, someone in commercials, and then a supervisor and their crew. Take that small group to the side. We use our skeptics, what we've spoken to in previous sessions, and we show everyone what what great looks like, how it works. Start sharing it. We get this loop. People will naturally start to come in. There's a great video by a guy called Derek Sivers. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. It'll be on YouTube. It's a TED Talk. It's called How to, I'll remember in a minute, it'll come back to me. How to start a movement. See what I just did then? That's a vitally important thing, particularly when you're live streaming like this. If you go, oh, I forgot, then your brain's going, I forgot. This is all about switching the cultures, all about changing the thinking. If I forget a line like I did just then, I don't go, I forgot a line, I go, it'll come back to me in a minute. Bang. Within a minute, it was there. How to Start a Movement by Derek Sivers. It's a little video of something that happens at a rock concert. One guy starts up dancing by himself. Second one joins him, which is a tipping point, a real good one. 3 or 4 join in. Next minute, you got the whole crowd in. Exactly what we're doing there. Same thing. Change the result by changing the culture, the thinking. It's got to shift before you can change, before it'll take hold, actually take hold. Right. That's it. You're responsible for delivery on a major project and you want culture deliberately engineered instead of it being left to drift. We spoke to it earlier in the week. Automatic habits are running your project, whether you like them or not, whether you've designed them or not, whether you've created them or not, regardless of what your core values say on your website. That's what your core values really are. Go and have a look at what's happening in the paddock. Message me reset and I'll send you the 90-day embedded execution reset brief. All right, now we're going to do what we do every single day because we never skip, which is our orca process. Now we tweaked this up again yesterday. We've been improving this every day, making it, you're seeing some of the thumbnails this week speak to anti-fragile. The reason that we're speaking to anti-fragile is we want this system to get stronger every day. Every mistake, every little thing that was going wrong, that we picked up in our debrief makes the process a little bit stronger. So we have actually strengthened this process yesterday. If you go back and have a look at yesterday's video, it will show you some actions that I gave this GPT. His job is just to rewrite the prompt with any improvements that we put into the prompt. And I'll get him to drop something out later soon to show us the improvements that we made. If you want to see how our process improved, just go back and start. I think I started with this on 92. You'll see dramatic improvement in this process just this week. And this is exactly what happens on site as well. Okay, if we go to Orca Phase 2, debrief request, drop out new prompt in, paste that in there. This should upgrade what we did yesterday, but still hold yesterday's actions. Fat fingers. Run Orca ORCA debrief. Run Orca ORCA debrief. Open actions for review. So it did. It held the actions that we had yesterday. Yesterday I put some actions up on the board up here, which was Beatty needed complete testing of new Orca Wingman prompt. AI Wingman Orca written handover for mocks. Beatty write bang up a post for tomorrow's live, which we got him, which we did. Complete testing of new Orca Wing prompt Wingman, we did that. Orca Wingman Orca write handover, yep. Beatty write a banger post. Yes, all three actions were complete. So we're tracking data here. Are we doing the things that we say that we're going to do, the priority, in the right sequence, or are we not? And by speaking to it and capturing the data every week and going, well, hang on. Monday we did a good job, Tuesday we drifted. Wednesday, Thursday were good, Friday not so much. Why? What's going on those days that we're drifting off if we're getting something happening? Yes. You can ask me one by one. Yes. Did we execute the mission flawlessly? Not perfectly, flawlessly. Did we get the mission achieved, regardless of what got thrown at us during the day? It is Friday the 27th of February 2026. The time is 6:31 a.m. and the location is Beanie's office. So we can pull this back, we can use this out in the field. This might be in the civil area, or it might be in the piping area, or it might be in the mechanical area. They can tell us where they've run this process, Orca. And we can also pull out, suck the data out, what was our daily debrief that we did in the office or with the supervisors. We can share this across the organisation. Objective of this mission was to run the Friday live session and make the offer of the fractional FIFO deal. Obviously your mission will be whatever it is for the day. Move the 300-ton crane from north, south, west corner to the northeast corner. Has to happen today, must, because it's got to be up there for piping. It's got to be up in the piping crew today. That might be the mission. That might be the most important thing that needs to happen on the shift. Whatever needs to happen to the shift. Where do we need to be at the end of the shift? Tightened objective. The objective of this mission was to run a Friday live session and present the rational. One correction, it's fractional FIFO, FIFO offer. Yes. But don't just let it drift. Pull it back on track. If what it says isn't right, correct it. Orca. What result did you get? The live is currently in progress. It will be completed when we complete this Orca session. This session will be completed after this Orca drill. Yes. This takes all the emotion out of it too. Oh, I didn't say that. That wasn't what I meant. Let the AI write it. Summarise it. Is that what you meant? You can confirm. That there. What we've got there, is that exactly what you said? Is that what you meant? Takes all the emotion out of it. What caused those results? The weekly framework that would follow, the content formula. I've set the habit now. So I live stream every single day. I prepped my day the day before. So yesterday I knew that I'm going down to Brisbane this morning, so I've got my good shirt on. And I ran my Orca session early this morning because I know from past experience, if I leave it till later in the afternoon, I struggle more to get it done. So I set myself up to win. Summarise that. A weekly fixed content framework creates consistency. Daily live stream habit is embedded. Preparation was completed the day before. The session was scheduled early to avoid known afternoon execution drop-off. Physical setup, prep, reduce friction and increase readiness. Yes. And here you could be saying stuff like, we did this piping section. We had to put 100 metres of pipe in. Did it work? Yes. Why? It was all prepped. The gear was all there ready. We had done verify full kit. The guys had their work pack there. They had everything that they needed to do. The crane was set up. Everything just ran smooth. Then we know that we're on track. What actions on your whiteboard, including who does what by when? Upload a photo. Okay, so I'm just going to take this off here for a second. I'm just going to use exact same actions from yesterday. Come on, camera. Man, I'm having technical difficulties today. Careful to follow me. Yep. So we would have had a discussion now and gone, who needs to do what, when? So up in our face on the board. Everyone sees them all day. And we've got it tracked by a little mate just here as well. He'll make a summary of that now. This is one of the improvements that we put into this wingman the other day. Don't know why that wouldn't go to 2 before now. Oh, now it will. Bloody technology. Beanie, complete testing of new Orca wingman prompt. AI wingman Orca right handover. Beanie right banger post. Stored as open action. Right. So I asked it to do 2 things for me, which it has now done. So I asked it to drop these into blocks so I could just copy them, paste them and send them straight out. So if I was using Microsoft Teams, I would copy that open actions and drop that straight into Teams for the day. And I could automate that with Copilot and it would actually create actions on a little planner board. Something we could do. As I said, we're going to start using Claude to do all this thing. It's going to go to the next level. Next thing was his handover to write the, what do you call it? It's more a brief, I suppose. It's a recap of this session. So he's written that. What he did the other day when he wrote it, I gave it to the GPT that has to write the actual, what they call a banger post, which is my next LinkedIn post. It went off on choosing your own adventure because it didn't have clear instructions. We should have corrected that now. Let's see what it does. It should write a banger post for us, which is the follow-up post to this. This is clear, structured and disciplined. Now I'm going to sharpen it so it actually lands commercially and doesn't read like an internal ops memo. Well, that's what it is, you peanut. You don't need more detail, you need a sharper signal below. It's a tightened handover for mocks, not fluff. Run Friday live. No. No, I put it in the wrong GPT. That's why he didn't understand it, and he didn't do what I want him to do with it. See more. Where's mocks gone? New project, Orca, these are all projects at the minute. I want to see projects, I want to see less. Mocks handover. Go to the wrong GPT. Waste. Need to tighten the process up here, which we'll do when we got Claude. Orca. So this is what I wanted to fix, and it did it, because last time he just went off and gave me a summary of the summary that we just created. What I wanted to do was write the next post. Orca day 97 to 180, snowy hydro series. The reason why the other one didn't do this with it is because he hadn't been privy to the conversation of what needs to happen with this. I spoke to Mox about this yesterday and said I'm going to get a better prompt written for you that will give you clear instructions to write a banger post when we do this, and the other GPT did it as well. This isn't live theory, it's execution. The job for Friday was simple. Show up, deliver the session, present the fractional FIFO offer. Nothing heroic, just discipline, followed through, because high level leverage moves don't land from motivation, they land from structure. This week wasn't random content, it was sequence. Teach, show, engage, shift belief, decide. By the time Friday arrives, the ground is prepared. That's not marketing, that's cadence. Cadence removes friction. By the way, that's the exact formula that I use to shift culture with this down here, which is establishing values and culture and maintaining it. When on that who, doing that fractional FIFO, I'm doing the same thing with your project, which is why we're speaking to radical transparency next week. So Monday I'll teach them something, share a framework with them. Tuesday I'll show them how we actually do it. Wednesday we'll engage, drop a poll. Thursday we'll shift the belief around why it won't work. Then Friday, we'll make an invite. Let them come across, get involved, do your own inside school, DM me for a link. That's what we would be doing on your site. That's what I intend to do when I get on the Snow Hydro project. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. Travel later, no energy drop, small controls. So that's all done. That has worked exceptionally well. I'm not going to change anything with that prompt at the moment, because what happens with prompts sometimes is they start to go off track. We're going to track that. That's at a good spot at the moment. We're going to track that for the next few days. We're going to find something else to improve in our next sessions moving forward instead of prompt. All right, if you are responsible for delivery on a major project and you want culture deliberately engineered, instead of left adrift, message me reset and I'll send you the 90-day embedded execution reset brief. Because what we called it in this one here, Jason Schroeder, this short clip I'm going to show you in a minute, he asked me the question, what's PM's main job? Most project managers, what I'm speaking to in here, aren't at this level or don't have this skill set to be able to do what I'm talking about at the moment. They're good at spreadsheets. They're good at reporting. They're good at cost accounting, which is a problem. You need throughput accounting, not cost accounting. They're not good at getting everyone heading in the same direction, which is why you need this. Who? An integrator, who it's Mox. So when he says, what is the project manager's main job? Is to do this after he's been shown how to do it properly. Speak soon.
This is a big one, and I've asked a project executive that I respected a lot what the answer to this one is, but I'm going to ask you, when you think about the real objective of a project manager, going back to that loop, what is their actual mission, so that we can bring it home for the listeners?
Okay, so the actual mission is, I'd go back to the book by Patrick Lencioni, 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, and the quote in there that says, if you could get all of the people in an organisation rowing in the same direction, you could dominate any industry, any market, under any conditions at any time. If you could get everyone, the PM's job is to get everyone headed in the same direction. If he could do that, you'll build any project under any circumstances, ever gets thrown at you at any time. That's my opinion. In my opinion, that is his number one job.
I love that, and kudos to you for pronouncing his name right. I always get that wrong.
That took a lot of practice to get that right, especially for an
Yeah,
Aussie.
because